Hello, church family. This won't be long, but I have a few things that I wanted to share with you, mainly two things related to how we're going to be moving forward. First of all, I want to thank you again for your great disposition through all of the challenges that we've been facing. In fact, I couldn't be more pleased with the way that you guys have rolled with the proverbial punches. Who could have known that 2020 would be the year that would bring so many different obstacles? And I know that opinions abound about everything from social distancing to wearing or not wearing masks to how we can best deal with the racial tension in our nation while maintaining support for law enforcement. I've simply sought to lead us in a way that is responsible but not oppressive, and you've responded at every turn with grace and kindness toward one another. So, thank you. I want to mention a word about Sunday school and small groups. We shared this information with our teachers a while back, but I thought it would be good to let all of you know as well. We're not planning on moving to 100% capacity just yet. If we did, that would necessitate, according to the Clay County Health Department directives, that everyone in the building would be required to wear a mask. Rather than debate all of that, knowing we have people who have differing opinions about what's going on, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing because it has been working reasonably well. Currently, with 4 morning worship services, we're having about 70% of what was our attendance pre-coronavirus. We've said from the beginning of returning to public worship that we certainly understand that some people will feel the need to wear a mask and others will not. So masks are not mandatory, but we do encourage those of you who want to wear one to do so. And we'll keep our worship schedule as is, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 11 o'clock for now. This schedule affords us the opportunity to grow in attendance without having to change anything else for a while. One interesting side note about which I'm very grateful has been how many guests we've been having these days. What a great blessing these guests have been to our church family. And the truth is, I can't wait for them to meet all of our regular attenders and vice versa in time. That leads me to talk about Sunday school again. The bottom line is that in order to keep our schedule as is without going over the 50% occupancy number, we're having to offer Sunday school at different times other than Sunday morning. I'm thankful that we've already had some classes that have taken us up on that, and they're already meeting again. I recognize it is not a perfect scenario, but bear in mind we are at least able to offer classes at alternative times to meet. Some churches aren't even able to do that. The only time we're not able to accommodate Sunday school and other small group classes is from 8 a.m. to noon on Sunday mornings. This leaves a lot of time for opportunities for classes to meet. I don't know when this will change, but we certainly will be looking forward to the opportunity to change when we can. In the meantime, some classes are meeting. If your teacher has not touched base with you about it, feel free to contact him or her to find out what plans they may be making about their class into the future. Another real challenge that we have with hosting Sunday morning classes has to do with children. We can't implement or monitor social distancing among little children, so we can't have them meeting just yet on a regular basis. It would seem uncharitable at best to offer adult-only classes on Sunday morning, even if the percentages dictated that we would be able to do so. I think that would send a wrong signal to young families, essentially that we would be excluding families with little ones for Sunday school, and I know that is not something we would ever want to communicate. So we want to continually honor one another, and we recognize this challenging time is but a small blip of time in relation to the big picture. We're in this together, so I'm praying we'll all come out of this together too. As you may have read in my earlier email, we're not having our business meeting this month. We really didn't have any pressing items that would require us to meet, other than just sharing the church's financial report. So let me encourage you, if you'd like a copy of the financial report, feel free to pick one up in the church office. We certainly want to maintain the accountability and transparency that has been part of our church's fiber for many years. On another note, some have asked about having our prayer list updated online. Suffice it to say, there would be some real challenges to that at this point, in that we would either have to have a members-only section with login credentials or information would be there for public record. We don't feel good about either of those options at this point. Well, I wish that I could report to you that everything was going back to normal soon. I wish, in fact, that I could tell you that Sunday school would be back to normal next month, that the coronavirus had disappeared, and that baseball as it was meant to be played would be played soon. Some of you got the last part, some of you didn't. If you did, great. If you didn't, don't worry about it. Suffice it to say, if Abner Doubleday could see what has happened to his sport these days, I don't think he'd be happy, but I digress. Listen, I know that we're all missing out on so many different facets of what has been a normal part of our life. The way I'm choosing to cope with it is with extra gratitude for all the little things that we are able to enjoy these days. And then, of course, living with the recognition that God is, in fact, sovereign, even over all of our current challenges. You may not feel as if you can trust anyone else, but I promise you, you can still trust God.